Hey everyone, Nick in the States here, back from a little summer hiatus. Life's been a little busy with work and kids and summertime that haven't got a video up in a while, but that's not to say I wasn't thinking of y'all. So, today though I want to talk about just another hidden gem, and it's a guitar that's out of production, but you see them quite often on Craigslist, on eBay, on Reverb, things like that. And it's the venerable Agile AL-2000. So the AL-2000 is really Agile's take on a Les Paul standard, but it's made in Korea, and it's just like a Les Paul, mahogany back, maple cap with a flame maple veneer, 2 ceramic humbuckers, typical 2-volume, 2-tone, 24 3/4 inch scale, bound rosewood fretboard, Gibson-ish inlays, Grover tuners, and kind of a tasteful headstock design, although some people call it a Gumby looking thing. Very much a Les Paul shape, kind of has a little bit more softer rolled off horn, but overall still a very much a Les Paul kind of inspired copy competitor, whatever guitar. But what's great about these AL-2000s is that they are just really well built, with kind of the golden age of expensive Korean style at cheap Korean prices, if that makes sense. Like, they had a really great attention to detail. And to help show that off, let's take a look at this guy in close. You can see she's got a real lovely flame top to her, nice and thick. When you look at the back, and I'm trying to get the light right here, this guitar is a few years old and still she's in a remarkable shape, but it's also, there's no obvious difference in, like, you know, mismatched colors of wood. It almost looks like one continuous piece of wood, even though I'm quite sure that it's more than one. Multi-piece neck, I think there's a little heel joint, scarf joint halfway up, but nicely bound all the way in. There's your Grovers, an angled back headstock, just like Gibson does, although I think the angle is definitely different. But it's the little details, like look at the finish on the binding all the way around. It's just really sharp, there's no overspray, there's no, you know, anything really wrong with it at all. And they get the little in the corners, well, that you don't see on Chinese guitars or even the Indonesians, and even the newer Agile 2500, which I had one briefly. It just didn't have the fit and finish of these older 2000s. So I'm totally digging it. The hardware is kind of your high quality Korean hardware. The cream plastic covers is a nice cream, not like the Gibson kind of gross, weird kind of thing. And she's a nice little guitar. And I'll tell you that I actually dig the pickup sound on them too. They're while they're ceramic pickups, they still have a warmth to them, especially running through kind of the rig that I've got set up now. She's just, they're clean, they're nice sounding pickups. They're nothing, you know, shocking or awesome or revelation, but all in all, they're a really good pickup. And it's a good guitar, and they offer these in so many different varieties. Here, I'll give you a little bit of the dirt and distortion. A lot of practice, but that's Boss DS1 going through a little bit of soul food, small smidge of Holy Grail going into the Blackstar HT5R clean. Not a huge play demo. The setup on this is just a little off, but she's about to get new strings, a Bigsby put on, and a whole lot of love. But I wanted to just share a quick video just because I hadn't in a while. Also say hi, and get out in front of you guys. But so what's cool about this, right, is this is one AL-2000, but here's my other one. Both of these were bought recently. We'll give you a close-up on this. This is kind of like a blacked out mahogany top, same pickups, maple fretboard, black inlays, same kind of headstock, black Grovers, natural back. It's got a little more wear and tear on it. Someone broke the switch tip off. but it's about as diametrically opposite as possible. And in the very near future, there'll be a couple of videos, one putting a Vibramate on this guy, one putting a GFS X Trem, a black one, on this guy. This guy's actually going to live in my office as our little office beat-around guitar. But it'll be a good kind of, step-by-step for how to install both of those things, and to compare the final thing, because they're both going from the same angle. Now, why do I have two of these aside from needing one in location? Well, like everything, it kind of comes down to price. And in this case, this guitar was $106 shipped to my door, which for a guitar that plays well, its setup on this is actually better than the blue one, and sounds identical. You can't really beat that. This guy was $180, it turned out, to my door shipped, which is still a phenomenal deal. So check them out. I like them a lot. They're a great alternative to if you're looking at Gibsons or if you're looking at Epiphones or things like that. For the price you can get these, it's cheaper than an Epiphone Les Paul standard. The quality is phenomenal. There are new ones out there. And you look here, I had a really neat Lizard Burst AL-2000 from Agile. They're about $270 plus shipping. But you can see some of the little details that were off. Just the paint wasn't as good. The top was good, but it wasn't very deep quilt top. And it had a notch in the fret. I ended up having to return it, and they didn't have one to swap. So, anywho, now I'm rambling. But see from the pictures, like, you can't go wrong. Rondo knew the problem is you don't get the greatest descriptions. Sometimes the descriptions are inaccurate. Sometimes there's other stuff going on. Speaking of stuff going on, I have no idea what's going on in the other room. But I think it's bath time. Not for me, for the kids. Anyway, on that note, I've been nicking the States, and obviously I've got issues, one of which is two little kids that have to get in the bath. Check these guys out. Used Agiles are great because you get the pictures of the actual guitar you're going to get. They're tanks. They're priced all over the place, but if you shop around right, you'll get these at a great deal. Stay tuned. I've also got 3 more Harley Bentons coming in, some very interesting ones. And as I said, the Vibramate and Bigsby and the X Trem GFS for this bad boy. Anyway, I missed y'all, and I've been nicking the States, and obviously I have issues. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.